Hello everybody, this is Yael from Yael Alchemy, and I'm here to bring you the weekly Twin Flame reading for the week of October the 15th to the 21st. Okay, so how is everybody? A couple of days ago, around the 11th or the 12th, it was a very high intensity energy day. So much so that a lot of other readers, light workers, have characterized it as another tipping point for us. You know, some even to the extent of proclaiming that love has won. And there is no separation. In fact, there was also a commenter in one of my videos last week, and her comment was basically her article that was unpublished. And well, ordinarily I would get, I don't know, it just seemed rude, hijacking somebody else's platform for a message. But her message was fine, so I just kept it there. Maybe you've come across it. Okay, but I didn't know if in essence she was saying that these readings are not necessary anymore or whatever. But from my point of view is that although the general template is that everybody has reached that point within themselves wherein the divine masculine has merged with the divine feminine, we are at various points of our individual ascension, okay? And when we talk about ascension, it goes hand in hand with the planet. And if you look around you, and I know because a lot of you, a lot of my followers, my subscribers, you come from various countries, really. Name a continent, and I would have had the pleasure of working with a person in that continent, that country, even countries I've, places that I've rarely encountered before, even in books or readings. And I just found out about them because I had to do healing, distance healing for a client. Okay, and if you take a look around, the earth is still catching up. And not just the earth, it's your 3D friends, your family here, and anyone else who is still not personally invested in their ascension journey in such a way as they do it, and they do it consciously already. Okay, so there is still much to be desired, and as far as twin flames and light workers are concerned, although we've reached this intense energies already, wherein there is no separation, and most of us know that. Well, there's still work to be done in really having that manifest in our 3D circumstances and situations, right? So anyway, so I didn't have any issue with the content. It's just that there, I'm sure she has her own platform. Okay, so anyway, as I was saying a couple of days ago, it was very strange because very difficult ascension symptoms. As in, I broke out in a rash. It was almost as if my skin was very luminous and very thin and almost like I forgot what you call it. Those the appetizers in the Vietnamese cuisine, wherein they're wrapped in rice paper, glutinous rice paper. It's very luminous and very sensitive. So I broke out in these hives, rashes, and all that. They're dying down now. And I just want to remind you that if ever the ascension symptoms come in fast for you and too fast, just always request your higher self and your spiritual team to slow it down so you can catch up. Okay, because it's just this energy that's passing through us. And you know what, it helped a lot that um, you're cleared from the inside. So on that score, it was such a pleasure to work with all those who have gotten the forgiveness Reiki. And most of the time, I really don't know your stories, as I always say. But for some reason, I get to tap into that. It's part of the impressions while I'm doing the forgiveness Reiki, and it benefits both the client and me as the conduit of that energy, to have that cleared. Okay, so it was such a privilege working with you. Okay, so anyway, that was just a tip, that if you did get the brunt of that intense energy the past couple of days, and just ask your higher self to tone it down a notch so that your body can catch up. Okay, because as you know, a lot of you have already been upgraded to, your crystalline bodies, and they're coexisting with your physical ones. But when you get downloads, it's download for the crystalline. So it's like, your cable, and you have HD TV, and but your TV's still analog, but the signal's for HD TV, so it comes in fast, right? And there has to be a calibration that happens there, so that it can be converted to the vehicle that you need to anchor that energy in. Okay, so anyway, let's get on with the message this week. As always, I've already prayed over the cards and shuffled them, and at the bottom of the deck we have here the Two of Swords. Okay, so this is a reading for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. Two of Swords. First thing that came to my mind when I saw this Two of Swords: choices. Okay, because like I said, we're at some sort of a tipping point because of that merger, that unification already, that it has to tumble down into your 3D circumstances. But when that happens, one necessarily has to make choices, okay, given whatever situation, because it's good if this were everything would happen in a controlled environment wherein everyone is as enlightened as you are. But let's get real, that doesn't happen that way. The minute that you even finish listening to this video, if you do feel like finishing it, and you turn your attention to something else, you talk to somebody else, then it's that mix again of people of different ascension levels that you have to deal with. So in dealing with all these, you have to make choices, okay? And here, see, choices that come with this huge burst of energy, this enlightenment, this next step in our ascension, which would be represented by the sun. Okay, and here we have strength. So here we have this woman here, and this card pertains particularly to the twin flames, because even if we're not externally doing anything tangible and we're just holding the energy as volunteers for these ascension waves, then look, here we have the lion, a wild animal, but it has been tamed. So here there's a relationship of trust between the wild animal, that is the lion, and this lady. Okay, but why are they in such an intimate position wherein you can immediately sense that there is mutual trust and mutual respect? Okay, so what this is saying is that among the choices that you have to make, you can, well, this is your basic choice between reacting with love and reacting with fear. Because right now, our responses to various stimuli, okay, especially brought on by your 3D situations, that is what is going to be very, very crucial in the next couple of weeks, months, your response. Because here, consciously, we've reached this point and we know that we are responsible, okay? But that's response able. You're able to give a response that corresponds with your understanding, your wisdom of where you are in this journey and where others are at in their own personal journey. Okay, so this is not just a knee-jerk reaction, because this is a mutual building of trust. Okay, otherwise, if you don't have that and you still respond with fear to situations and people that would, upon first impression, evoke that fear that's already preconditioned in your mind because of old paradigms, old thoughts, then that would be hard to have it work out. Okay, because the next card we have here is the Five of Swords. So here, the Five of Swords is a card of winning, but not without consequence. Okay, here he has disarmed his two opponents. He's the winner here, but it only came after a hard battle wherein he's had to disarm his opponents. So, and the next card here is Justice, which is symbolizes balance. Okay, so again, choices play a big part in this enlightenment, because look, you could choose to view something, your situation, with fear or with love, and but you're advised to, of course, always work through the heart. And then there's also a sense of being tired out from the battle, but all that will be balanced out if these choices are consciously made for the highest good of all concerned in the situation. Okay, so now let's move on to the Divine Masculine. I'm going to open all the cards first. First, we have the Princess of Wands. Next, we have the King of Pentacles. Then we have the Six of Wands. And then we have the Princess of Cups. Okay, look, very nice cards for the Divine Masculine this week. We start off with the Princess of Wands energy, which is a very passionate and enthusiastic energy coming from the Divine Masculine. Okay, and beside it is the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles, he has a desire to really work at providing and taking care of everything that's under his wing. Also, when it comes to plans, this is fixing it so that everybody gets their due, okay, and everything is working properly. It's kind of like a mini Emperor card. But look, the driving force now is the awakened Divine Feminine aspect within him, okay, here, and that's what we get with the Princess of Wands. It's like how do I say it? It's like this would be his driving force, and he's getting it from the Divine Feminine aspect within him. Of course, that is not to say or not to exclude that the Divine Feminine and the recognition, his recognition of his Divine Feminine might be a very motivating factor for him to go ahead and fix things, okay? Because here, if he's not inclined to that, but it looks like it is, okay? If he's not inclined to that, to fix things because of his divine feminine, then it is the energies of the divine feminine that makes him more conscious of bringing his plans into action. And this has been coming in my readings for several weeks now, because if you look at the card below the King of Pentacles, here we have the Six of Wands, and that signifies the divine masculine's arrival. It's a homecoming. It's a coming home, whether it's to himself, whether it's to his twin flame union. It will still be a homecoming wherein he's going to be welcomed after this long journey. And this long journey pertains to his awakening, really. And he's preparing for that. He's very enthusiastic, okay, and making sure it's like, in practical terms, if he's coming back from a long voyage, he wants to make sure that he's brought back souvenirs and gifts for everybody that's waiting for him back home, because he's not coming back the same person that he was when he began the journey. He's coming back a renewed man, okay? And look, this Six of Wands, his arrival, the next card, the last card that we have for him here, is the Princess of Cups. And the Princess of Cups not only indicates this openness to really offer his emotion and to work on the level of the heart. Okay, because you can see here this princess, while she sits here in her throne, she's staring at this cup from which this fish jumps out. So it kind of takes her by surprise, but she recognizes it, that it is her in another form. Okay, you can see the colors of the fish are the same as her garb, and so this is recognition of oneself and others, together with that offer of love. Okay, that we are not different, we are the same. And that's the message that he's going to bring as soon as he arrives. And you can see there, here, his enthusiasm, the enthusiasm of the divine masculine, the foundation of it is because there is recognition on his part, because that's a card above, okay? And that's why he's excited. It's like meeting your long-lost twin, literally, okay? So that's where the excitement is coming from. And the card that we have here for the divine masculine is the Temperance card. But you can see here that this woman, she sort of opened, well, something like a Pandora's box, wherein you can see here there is predator and there is prey. So what this is saying is that, and well, in twin flame jargon, that would be the runner and the chaser paradigm. And right now, along with this recognition, because he's coming towards his beloved already, which he has recognition for, right? There's a need to balance this, because that was the old paradigm. You were either a runner, you were either a chaser, or, you know, at some point in time that switched. But no, because there has been integration. So he also recognizes that there is a need to balance that out, and to just keep on moving without taking 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. What, am I runner? Am I chaser? No, he's getting ready to present himself in all stability, okay? This is a king that is very earthy, okay? In place, rooted in place, but balanced. He's not flighty. He's not frivolous. He just wants to present himself. And as simple as that, this is me now. Okay? And here, balancing the old knee-jerk reflex reactions of either running away or chasing. Because he knows that it is time wherein, in this period of enlightenment, okay, like we said here, that his twin is capable of making the choices. Okay, you've gotten to a certain point. You've worked out your evolution and your ascension journey to a point wherein both of you are mature enough to decide for yourself if you want to come together physically in this lifetime, in a relationship, I mean, in this lifetime, or not. Well, everything's in a relationship, you know, but I mean in a committed relationship. You get to decide. And he's giving space for that. That's why there is here the strength card, the mutual respect, mutual trust, mutual taming. Okay? The balance of the runner and the chaser, both calming down now, okay, to be still and make a choice, an enlightened one. Okay, so let's go over to the Divine Feminine. I'm going to open all the cards first. First, we have the Chariot card. Then we have the Devil card. Then we have the Nine of Wands. And then we have the Seven of Cups. Okay. Several messages here, but let's start with the Chariot card. The Chariot card is a card of great energetic movement. Okay, this may represent actual movement. You may be moving away from someone, some place, some job, but that movement, it has movement away from something that you have been attached to for a long time. Okay, and this is difficult because sometimes you think you're still tethered. Okay, but we're not tethered anymore. We can go where we want to go because, well, theoretically, we have understood what it means to let go of attachments, especially the attachments that are really based on 3D sentimentality. Some things that you are familiar with, whether it would be a habit, okay, a vice, something that keeps you from evolving further. But there's going to be movement away from that. But it's not going to be easy, okay? But it's going to be necessary for the next stage of your evolution of the Divine Feminines. For the longest time, they've been sort of in a holding pattern, waiting for the Divine Masculine to catch up. Now that the Divine Masculine is catching up, again, she needs to lay the groundwork for the next step for the both of them. Okay, so that's it. But here, like I said, it's not without challenges, because here below that is the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands points to it's a last minute hurdle. Some sort of a last challenge that you have to go through so that you can release yourself, okay, from these chains, basically. What ties and what binds you to your old life, or even the way that you lived your old life, because it's no longer in sync with the energies that you can carry and anchor within you. So it's catching up. And that's why here, okay, no, I'm going to put this here, okay, this last hurdle, it's going to involve a lot of choices. There will be choices here. And it's going to be the responsibility of the Divine Feminine to pick the choice that is for her highest good. As you can see, all the cups here, they contain different symbols, symbolizing different things, whether that's riches, fame, and sometimes the choices result in betrayal, regret, like this ghost here. So, but there is a cup here, okay, that would be the best choice. That would be the cup of the laurel there. The best choice that you could possibly make. The thing is, because we are all gifted with free will, we encounter these kinds of decisions that we have to make every day. Okay, and this is where, when we say that you must live a conscious life, okay, conscious directed at creating your life, this is where it kicks in, okay. And even here we have these choices during the time of this enlightenment, this ascension period, okay. So here in this last hurdle, some of you will choose to keep yourself stuck, bound, okay. It's like, you know, if there's a new smartphone and you're very comfortable with your old phone that's still not yet a smartphone. I don't know if anybody still uses that, but in my country, some find it easier to use that because it's just for plain calling. Okay, it doesn't really distract you, but you know, they usually have double phones. They have you know, an emergency phone like that, the very simple ones that, you know, first came out. So it's the choices. I mean, you can pick the latest gadget or whatever, or you can stick it out with something you're more comfortable with. But the technology, which would be like the energies that you're receiving now, can accommodate it. Kind of like the annoying way that if you don't upgrade your iOS, some stuff won't work, some apps won't work. Yeah, but it's like that. Okay, so choices will have to be made, and that would be part of the last hurdle here, to true freedom, I guess. Okay, true freedom of the Divine Feminine, which she's moving towards. And the card that we have here is the Three of Cups. And see, this is going to be a challenging time. It's a different kind of challenge for the Divine Feminines, because again, it's like they have to plow the way, okay, and get it ready for this, okay, the Divine Masculine, to finally be in sync. And as she goes through this last hurdle before her true freedom from whatever was keeping her stuck, bound, shackled, whatever, okay, she has to make these choices. And they are tough choices to make. They involve a lot of emotional release. Because, you know, when the Devil card comes up, and maybe you've had this Devil card come up in the form of your false twin, somebody you thought was your twin, or other situations in your life, it's very hard to really release and let go, because some feel that the amount of time that you've invested, the amount of emotions you've invested, it would be a waste. So you either hang on to the situation, hang on to whatever's holding you back. Even if it's just because of the fear of change. You know, you're so used to waiting, so you're stuck in that waiting energy. You're so used to moving around in this particular area because it is familiar to you, and that keeps you stuck there. But really, that prevents growth, okay? Especially when there is more growth that is coming. So here, as she goes through this, much of, because this is a very difficult, challenging, emotional period for some of the divine feminines, okay? And here she will require the support of her friends, of her family, as she goes through the whys and wherefores of why she's been so attached to this, that, and why it's time for her to really go forward to more progress. Okay? So here, reminding the divine feminine that the support of friends, like-minded people, twins, light workers, star seeds, okay, essentially would be invaluable to her. It would be invaluable aid to her at this time. Okay, so I'm gonna pick a card in the middle for both twins. Here we have the Prince of Cups, okay? A Prince of Cups atop his horse. So again, all this going on, really operating from the heart, getting ready. You can see he's on his steed, and his steed is on the move. He has peacock feathers there, signifying transformation and signifying but they're not yet, you know, splayed out. And that is the courting ritual when it comes to peacocks. But he carries them because you're getting ready for that. Okay, you're making a journey wherein your heart is the one that's guiding you at this time. And because it's like divine masculine saying he's coming here, divine feminine doing clearing operations, and look, that's why it's kind of a very turbulent time. You can see the emotionally charged. I wouldn't say really turbulent, but it's just emotionally charged because it's like you're using the guidance of your heart to move forward in the physical. You're going on gut. In fact, if somebody else asks you, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? It's very hard to explain why you're doing the things you're doing, because it's coming from the heart. And the ordinary person who still sees with the mind won't get it. Okay? Because it's like you have to translate it in something that the mind can process. But immediately, if you're working from the heart and you're speaking with somebody who works from the heart as well, that would be understood in an instant. It's a quantum understanding of somebody else. You would know why they were doing that, what they're doing, and moving forward with the heart. So that's what both twins are up to this week. And as always, I'd like to remind everybody that for those, because we are here in this point, we're in, yes, doing clearing operations so that we can, the arrival will be without hitches, really. Okay, because of the weight or some other circumstance that has happened in your life that you may be harboring anger, resentment, or even if the disappointment is just residual, and there's almost always residue. It's very interesting because for those I've done the forgiveness Reiki for, I could sense a lot of stuff, and I do tell them, and even if I don't know their stories, it's almost always on point. Okay, and it helps them clear the last vestiges of what they need to clear. Okay, so for those who think they might need this ascension tool, or that this may help them, I have the forgiveness Reiki up there, which is 30 minutes of Reiki with divine codes for forgiveness, betrayal, abandonment, to lift resentment with the vibration and frequency of peace, for harmony and resolution after conflict with others, for self-love and self-worth to increase to optimum levels, and for consolation and comfort to the soul that only the Divine Mother can give. Okay? And you know what? It's best if you get the couples version of this, especially if you're working, helping your twin energetically, because even if you think that, okay, you're just waiting, but then things happen to you while waiting, and then the wait you might think is too long, it bounces off on your twin. And that's another thing that needs to be cleared out. And we're undergoing clearing operations, at least this week. And I think this is also in preparation for the 1111 gateway. Okay, so that's what I have for you this week. Take care, everyone. Bye.